Hey guys, this is my first amp I bought when I was about 16, and it was a bit of an uneducated purchase. As I was 16, I was pretty uneducated. Since then, there have been better options come along, and this amp doesn't see much action these days. It's been in the garage for a while, so I got it out, dusted it off, and turned it on, and it was working fine. And a few weeks later, it stopped working. And I figured it was the tube inside because that's actually happened before. So I pulled the old tube out, put a new one in, and sure enough, it worked. And the new tube was a Electro Harmonix tube. It was actually a pretty decent quality 12AX7, the replacement. I noticed a difference with the tone. It seems to have sort of made it a bit more clearer and just sounded better, less muffled. But the big problem with this amp is the speaker. I know some people like the the G12T75. I'm not one of those people. I'm not a fan of it. It's the top end, like everybody complains about. It's quite harsh and in your face, and I'm not a big fan of that. But replacing that speaker is going to be probably cost more than what the amp is actually worth. So I just thought I might do a couple of other little basic touch-ups to see if I can get something out of this thing that sounds relatively decent. So the second modification was to add a back to it. So I've just cut this piece of chipboard out and stuck it on the back, and this made quite a profound difference. The sound is as you'd expect with the closed back speaker. It's a lot tighter and a lot more focused. So let's have a listen to what those two modifications sound like. So the easiest way to be able to manipulate the top end of this amp a little bit more easily with a bit more control is to use a EQ pedal into the effects loop. So I'll start with them all flat, and then I'll just play around with some of the dials. This amp also seriously lacks some bass, so I'll probably crank up the bass as well. So it sounds a little bit better in front of the amp, but I'd have to actually hear it through the computer like you guys just heard before I'll be able to know if I've actually made it better or I've actually made it worse. So there's only one other thing we can try with this thing, just for a bit of fun. As you may have seen when I showed you the back of the amp, the actual speaker wire is exposed. So I could actually plug the speaker, I could actually plug a different speaker into the amp to see what it actually sounds like through a totally different speaker. Okay, so this is the Marshall 8080 through the Bad Cat speaker. So that actually sounded pretty decent. Once you cut that speaker out of the equation, the actual amp doesn't sound too bad. It's not spectacular, but it's okay. So what did we learn from this exercise? I have absolutely no idea. I think mainly that I just don't like that speaker. If you have a Marshall 8080, maybe you could try making a few of these modifications. If you can get your hands on a cheap replacement speaker, just to mess around with, I'd encourage you to do that, because it just makes this amp sound totally different. So anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Just a bit of fun messing around with my old amp. Thanks for watching this one. See you in the next video. Cheers, guys.